Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Communication Zone virtual panel. This will be our last virtual panel of the series. So thank you for everyone who have tuned into the past virtual panels. And so tonight we have a special guest, Casey Coleman, our National Secretary. So she'll kind of give her perspective from both her experience on the REB and on the national level. So kind of give you guys a little bit of perspective on the side. In the past, we're going to continue the same format. So if you're streaming live, go ahead and type in your questions into the chat box. And I'll go ahead and ask the regional leaders, the NSBE leaders, I'm sorry, some preset questions. And then afterwards, I'll go ahead and ask any questions that are in the chat box. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I forgot to do that. My name is Malik Hughes, Region 4 Engineering Diversity Chairperson. I'll go ahead and pass it along to George.
Hello, everyone. My name is George Jemison, and I am your Region 4 Publications/Public Relations Chair.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dio Jaiola, and I am your Region 4 Telecommunications Chairperson.
Hello, everyone. Like Malik said, I am Casey Coleman, and I am your National Secretary.
All right, thank you, everyone. So we'll go ahead and just get started into these questions. So let's start out with Dio. So why did you choose to run or apply for your position, Telecoms Chair?
That's a great question. I decided to run for a telecom chair because I essentially wanted to be a part of the REB. My story goes a little bit 2 years back when I first joined NSBE as part of the University of Illinois at Chicago chapter. Coming into the chapter, I loved what I saw. It was a welcoming family, and throughout that year, I was heavily involved with the chapter, and I just felt like I could be doing more, so I decided to run for a chapter executive board position the following year, which I effectively got as a role of senator within NSBE UIC. Same thing happened. I loved my involvement. I loved NSBE. I became a part of NSBE. I felt like I became more of a part of NSBE, and I basically got comfortable doing what I love. And for me, I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone, if that makes sense. Try to challenge myself even more. So I took on the role of telecommunications chairperson on the regional executive board, and I only have positive things to say from there.
Thank you for your answer. We'll continue on with Casey.
Hello, everyone. So quick NSBE history for me. I served 2 terms as the Region 4 Secretary, and becoming that role, I was actually encouraged to apply by my chapter. I had just become pretty active in everything, and actually was appointed later on in the year. I decided to run again for that position because during that partial year, I was appointed right before FRC. So I got to experience FRC, planning it and everything. But I knew that there are initiatives that I wanted to now implement, having served in this position in the zone for that time period. I wanted to have a full year, an opportunity to really come back strong, have new zone members to work with, to encourage into leadership, and to help them succeed their goals in their roles. And then again, things that I really wanted to accomplish for the year. So I'm happy to say we were able to, which was awesome. Now into National Secretary. So fun fact, I actually didn't apply for this when I was running for it. So last convention, which is when your regional and national leaders run for their roles, I was running actually against Shelby for Region 4 chair, and it was close, but ultimately best person for the role got the role. And during this entire period, though, my counterpart at the time, National Rashida Lewis, who's now your National Vice Chair, she was telling me, no, run for National Secretary. I need you. Like, you're you know, the things you were able to accomplish. I want you to work on our board. And eventually I also got contacted by Matt Nelson from Region 4, and he was serving again as national chair, and he said, I want you to work with us. It was something that, it was an interesting conversation. It was saying that I liked the way you lost. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? But he liked the way that we both ran a very amazing race. We both were working together on the board previously, both very close. And so when it came down to it, it was just something that he liked what we were running on. We were both running on very similar things, but ultimately the way that we were able to work together and come for the best of the region, he wanted that quality also on his board. He said, I can teach you, you know, how to do your role, because I was nervous about, you know, national secretary. Oh my gosh, I've never thought about a national level position. He said, you know, I can teach you how to do your job, but I can't teach you how to be a leader and how to see what's best for your membership, which is what you'll need on the national level. So from that point, I did apply. I was appointed, and it's been a journey, and I hope that we'll get to talk about on this call. But ultimately, I really did choose this position. I chose to serve in it, and it's been a great experience. NSBE really is truly the reason for me matriculating into my engineering program, for the reason that I'm still in it, hanging on strong, and you know, my motivation to keep going.
Awesome. Thanks for your answer. George, why did you choose to run for PR chair?
So as you guys know, this is my second term on the regional board, and so I seen the PR chair as an opportunity to really get acquainted with everything that NSBE does within every zone. As you guys know, being in the communication zone, I have to stay up to date with what every zone is pretty much doing. So within this role, it is a huge role to really connect the people, the members of the region together. And I really like to work with people. And so I looked at this position as an opportunity to not only connect regional members together more efficiently, but one interesting thing about this role is I am the only other voice that can speak on behalf of the region other than the chair. So PR chair is actually a huge role. It's really all about brand promotion. And so you get a lot of training and skills developed within this role that you can use for a lifetime, I think. So.
All right, thank you. So for the next question, I'll just start off with one person and then we could just go in any order, all right? So we'll start out with Dio again. How has being a NSBE leader impacted other areas of your life?
Becoming a NSBE leader, that's another great question. I can say that after becoming a NSBE leader, I'm definitely more visible, both on and off campus. Ever since I've been appointed R4 Telecoms chair, I visited several campuses within my area, and I'm definitely more visible there. I found that becoming a leader within NSBE has also helped me to be able to basically communicate with more corporate representation more. So basically, I've been exposed to a lot more professionals, and that has definitely helped me in my day-to-day life. And I will definitely use these tools post-graduation. And it's definitely given myself a newfound confidence, because I didn't think I would ever be held accountable to this much responsibility that I currently have. But that's definitely not a negative. It's definitely a positive.
So I'll go next. Obviously, leadership in any organization is an amazing opportunity to grow, an amazing opportunity to discover yourself and who you are within the role. You get opportunities to really stand out, not only, again, within that role, but also as an individual. I've learned so much about myself in different leadership positions, and I think that's the next question. We'll talk about organizations that we're in. But the goals and the things that you work for in NSBE can easily apply to other leadership positions that you'll eventually and hopefully hold. They'll encourage you to hold other positions. Within NSBE, you'll learn, if you pursue leadership, you'll learn how to plan and host a convention or conference, which is so important, down to nuances of not only the financial implications as budget managers of your board, but also just what it takes to communicate with membership, to relate to people. And Communication Zone, and speaking specifically on that, it's very important to be able to relate to your membership, to understand how to target them in a positive manner, to have receptive and engagement from them. And that's essential in hosting any conference. You'll understand how to work in a team. And obviously as engineers, we're taught how to collaborate and work together, but this is a little bit different. You're all working towards a goal, and you all have a passion for NSBE and supporting the membership and working together. That goes specifically into your success as an engineer, because you'll be asked to work on teams, whether it be in industry, whether it be in the classroom. Being a member of the board of directors. So yes, with the National Executive Board, but officially in the business side of things, we are a board of directors for this organization. If you think of various Greek organizations, are part of the board of directors. It's a very big role. And one thing that NSBE does is that, one, we're the largest student-run organization in the United States. So our board of directors are all college students. They're either mainly graduates. I'm actually one of the youngest, and I'm an undergrad. But we're completely student-run. One thing that we also do differently is that we switch out our board each year, which is unheard of. Our first meeting in NSBE when I became a national leader was how unheard of this was, learning about that and learning how we can combat that and still be successful, which we are. That is just, a huge learning opportunity, learning how to, the business side of things. And that's what you really get from being in a leadership role within NSBE. You really become business managers of the organization. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm good. I would definitely have to agree with both Dio and Casey on this one. So it's definitely impacted me in a way where I get to meet a lot more professionals, like Dio said. I remember, for example, last conference, it was funny because I found myself I was running around everywhere, and I happened to look up. I was in a conversation with a circle of like 5 people, and they were managers from Caterpillar, John Deere, Ford, I believe, and it was another company. And I was the only student in this entire circle full of managers in this conversation. And so things like that would happen to me all the time, like random. And of course, I don't know if anyone knows, but I always have my business cards on me. So I'm always networking everywhere I am. It is definitely giving me a lot of confidence, as Dio said as well, with talking with people, speaking in front of large groups. And even in my role specifically, I get to work hands-on with a lot of editing software. As far as I use Canva a lot, I've learned to work with Photoshop, and it's all within learning how to become a better PR chair. So like Casey said, those are skills where I'm essentially learning how to run my own. I don't know if anyone is interested in entrepreneurship, but I'm essentially learning how to run my own business just through volunteer work through NSBE. And so we're getting a lot of training that people pay hundreds of dollars for free. And so NSBE has definitely impacted my life on so many levels, whether it's personal, professional, social, you name it.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate all your answers. So for our next question, what other organizations are you a part of? And how have you been able to balance your NSBE responsibilities with those responsibilities of your other organizations?
So I'll start. So I don't want it to scare you guys. I am involved in A lot. So first of all, there is NSBE, which I'm fully immersed and involved in, obviously. And then there's also, so I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I don't hold a role, but I do hold a national leadership recognition, we'll call it. I'm a 2017 Leadership Fellow, and with that comes certain responsibilities. Along with that, I'm involved on my campus and other civic organizations outside of my campus. So I'm an unofficial advisor for my NSBE chapter here. I work with them and inform them about anything nationally and just support them through anything. And also I'm an active member. I'm also a member of the NAACP, not on my campus as much just because of time commitment, of course, but I am a lifetime member and have been for years. So that's a couple of the things, at least the things that occupy most of my time. And when it comes to balancing responsibilities, just know that a balance is very important. One thing that you'll learn in NSBE, we're a student-run organization, run by students, managed by students, but you have to understand that we always keep school first. We ultimately want you to graduate. We want you to pursue the goals that you want. We have positions on our board that work with you to find out what your future goals will be. We want to work with you to make sure that you are successful engineers. That comes from our mission directly. So we keep the same standard for our leaders. We want you to keep school first. Now, when I joined the national level, I will say that it became harder to keep school first. I am involved in a lot, but I think one thing from the regional to national level I realized is that, and my advisor actually put it perfectly, NSBE advisor on campus, he said that you're juggling a lot. And people say juggling as a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you understand what's important to you, that the balls or objects that are the things that you're involved in are important to you. So first, make sure that you're only juggling what is essential, what you want to keep in your life. But it's just like juggling. Sometimes you're not going to have all of them in your hand. Sometimes you need to understand what needs your attention immediately and what can wait. And obviously school should be in your hand most of all. It should be in your hand out of all of them the most. But sometimes, let's say you finish all your midterms and now you can focus on your NSBE work. Now you can focus on your community service. Now you can focus on this and that. Because obviously we have a lot of leaders involved in a lot of things and we encourage that. So understand what that balance is. It really is juggling. It's not, sometimes that's how I like to think about it, especially if you're involved in a lot of things and you want to maintain that involvement. And be realistic with yourself. Understand what you can handle and what you can't. And ultimately, I will say that it has been relatively smooth being able to balance my NSBE responsibility. So that is the answer to that question. You have support on your board. You have support with your team. We encourage you to keep school first. And if you need help, you have the people around you to do so. So definitely don't let that deter you from applying for any role that you're interested in.
I can go next. So I actually am not currently active in any other organizations besides NSBE. For no particular reason, the only reason being this is my last year, and so I'm kind of just wrapping things up. And so NSBE is kind of really engraved deep into my heart, so this will never go away. And so I'm really focusing on school a lot. But in the past, I have been involved in student government. I've been involved in another organization called Black Male Initiative, which is they do a lot of community-based service events. And so balancing things, yeah, it's really important. You need time management skills is very important being in this role, I would definitely say. And one thing that's worked for me is utilizing my calendar, making to-do lists, and prioritizing things. Like Casey said, we are a student-run organization, so I definitely make sure school is first at the top of the priority list, above everything. And so while I wouldn't say it's easy, it's definitely doable. Like Casey said, we have the help of the rest of the executive board. All you have to do is speak up, and everyone is Anyone can pretty much help you with your job. All of us have gotten help in the past before, and so it's not a problem to ask. We are a team, we are a family, and so that's what we look to do anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback on what George just said. I'm basically not quite active in any other societies on campus. I am currently an unofficial advisor for my school chapter. But coming from, well, from an engineering standpoint, I'm a general body member of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers on campus because I'm a mechanical engineering major. And on there, I'm basically part of our powertrain and suspensions team working. We're currently designing a Formula One vehicle. I'm basically just a team member on there, and as well as our Pathway to Black Male Achievement here on campus. So a little bit on the social side. I try to basically dabble, keep myself involved in other campus programs. But of course, I hold this leadership role within NSBE. So for me, after school, of course, NSBE definitely comes first. And you know, it's tough balancing. Try to balance your social life. I currently work part time, but yeah, being on this regional board, it's really helped me to manage my time more effectively. I've been exposed to a lot more resources, and it's a large board. You know, everybody's basically going through similar or identical situations. So we get it. We get that school comes first. So while serving in our roles effectively, becoming on the regional board has helped me to basically, you know, I'm not afraid to ask for help. You know, we have regional advisors to help us out with if we need anything, as well as national counterparts who check up on us, as Casey will tell you every now and again. So while it's tough trying to find that balance that'll help you, there are plenty of resources that kind of take care of that for you, and it's basically just a case of proper planning for you. And once you plan properly, then everything else falls into place.
All right, thank you for your answers. We'll move on to the next questions as we have really no other questions in the chat box at the moment. So, in no particular order again, how does your position help members excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community? So in other words, how does your position help support NSBE's mission?
I can go first. So being in the communication zone, being the public relations / publications chair, I would say it's essentially my responsibility to give the region resources to excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. In a sense where within all of our social media accounts, it is my job to update members on scholarship opportunities, events going on in conferences, different membership campaigns, pretty much everything that's going on with NSBE. And so I would say without the communication zone, without this role specifically as well, the mission statement would be really hard to uphold because of how large our organization is. As you guys know, we are a very, very large student-run organization. So social media is a way where we can constantly stay connected with each other. And so I feel like my position is one where I'm able to provide those resources to excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community.
I'll go. So within the telecommunications role, I work hand in hand with the regional secretary as well as George, our regional PR chair and publications chair. We're basically three hands of the same coin, if that makes sense. We all go hand in hand. Whenever George has whenever George has information that he'd like to distribute to the region, he'd send them out and redirect them back to the website. So I kind of view my role as kind of a mirror, in the sense that after receiving this certain amount of information from various platforms, be it email, GroupMe, social media postings, they would refer back to the website and gain more of an in-depth understanding of what is going on in our region. So with that, it basically keeps all the membership up to date with any and all things going on within Region 4. It's the website that I currently manage hosts everything you need to know about becoming a member about NSBE. It boasts a bit about NSBE's history, how you can join the REB, what REB is all about, the programs that are currently going on in Region 4 right now. So it's basically just this hub of information that it's for the membership, and any questions that one might have after seeing a post on social media or an email from our regional secretary, or be it any regional executive board member, they could refer back to the website to gain more of an understanding as to the current things that are going on within our region.
So it was a big question. And nationally now I'm able to really, I feel, answer it well. If you saw my video that the NEB made, it's on @NSBE, and I think it's on Region 5 and Region 4's pages. I mentioned that the communication zone is the mouthpiece of our society, specifically national communication and the regional boards, regional communication zones for the region working along with us. What I mean when I say this is that we work directly with every member of our board, from programs, finance, membership, etc., to progress what they are doing within our society, what they are working towards, and the opportunities that they have for you, to you, and to support you and to share that knowledge with you. If we did not have a communication zone, you would not receive that information, and you probably wouldn't receive it in the best way possible, because we also work with the best way to engage our membership. We have to have a knowledge of how things are responding with our membership. We have to have a knowledge of social events happening around the United States as well, things that are impacting our members, a knowledge of that. George mentioned this recently, but he is one of the members on the board, region board, that is able to speak on behalf of the Region 4. And for us nationally, that's my PR chair. She's the second person within our society. Third person. We have 3 people. Obviously, our executive director counts as well. But our national chairperson and our public relations chairperson, they are able to speak on behalf of the society. And why it's important on the national level is that we need to be aware of the challenges, struggles, everything outside of engineering and within. So within the Black community, et cetera, that are impacting our membership. That's how kind of tying into positively impacting the community. But now, if we're talking specifically NSBE, again, like I said, everything that goes to you and comes from other members of the board, other zones, other groups that are working, it comes through us. We have knowledge of it. We help send it to you so that you are receiving the information in the best way possible. And just a quick breakdown. So, of course, the secretary runs the national communication zone and regional communication zones, with the PR chair, pub chair, sometimes it's combined like on regional levels, and then the communications chairperson. And so I serve as the manager of sorts for the zone, and they serve as the gatekeepers for their respective areas. So when it comes to social media and things like that, we work together to make sure that we are progressing the word and the meaning of NSBE. On the national level, what I had to now do that I didn't have to do on the regional level or didn't focus on as much was the public appearance of NSBE, of the organization itself, to external partners, to corporate affiliates, to those that do not know what NSBE is. How are we presenting ourselves to those parties? How are we, as our national chairperson likes to say, how are we bringing those that aren't in the room, aren't within NSBE, into the room? How are we engaging them? How are we encouraging them? What do they see when they search NSBE online? What are they looking for? What does our logo mean to them? We also control how our brand looks itself as a brand ambassador for our organization. It's my job to make sure that our brand, what we stand for, our mission, is always represented in the way that we would like it to be, which usually I define, but we define as an organization as well, and what our membership wants, is defined by those external partners or just external parties properly. So misuse of the logo, misuse of our mission, misrepresentation of our organization, which we get things on a daily, let me tell you. It's my job to make sure that those don't see the light of day, that those things are, that everything that is being represented of our organization is what we can control it, and we can make sure that this is how we're encouraging people to join NSBE, to be a part of NSBE, and to see what NSBE is about. So communication zone is a very important zone. It's essential to any board, and that's what we do to further our mission and to make sure that it's known to our membership and to others.
Thank you. I think that was a really good wrap up for how the communication zone in general just supports NSBE's mission. All right, so this will be the last question that I have. And since there's still no other questions in the chat, we'll probably just go ahead and wrap it up after this. So what advice would you give to someone considering running for your position?
I'll go first. Just do it. Honestly, I did it, and I can honestly say that I am extremely happy with the decision I made. I have physically seen myself grow in ways that I could not have imagined. When I reflect back on how I was coming into college and where I am right now, it's nothing short of a miracle. From a regional standpoint, and as your telecommunications chair, I have definitely become more tech savvy because I've been exposed to website design, website creation, formatting, editing, things like that. And these are things that, as I said before, I was a mechanical engineer major by trade. So I really wasn't exposed to any, computer software coding skills. But within my role as telecommunications chairperson, I've been definitely become more tech savvy in that. And coming from a chapter level, I was always more program zone oriented on the chapter level. So applying to be in the comm zone on a regional level was a big step for me. It was a major step, actually. And I just want to encourage any and all people who are even thinking about applying to a regional executive board position, but are not sure what exact role is a good fit for them. I strongly encourage you to explore all our roles. And but I can honestly tell you that there is no wrong role for you. You'll be able to grow in any position that you may find yourself in. There is no bad fit, and I speak from experience by saying this.
Okay, I'll go. So what I'm gonna, since I'm sitting in also for Nicole, I'll talk a little bit about regionally and nationally. Regionally, I think, well, overall, I think the most important thing when you're looking at these positions, the two very important things to have is, of course, support from the person that is currently holding it. Not saying that you need like support transition-wise. So definitely, if you're interested in any of these positions, whether it be within communication zone or another zone, please contact the person that currently holds it. They can guide you. They can answer some more of your questions outside of the zone panel. If you want to ask anything one-on-one, definitely reach out to us. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Nicole. You can reach out to both of us if you have any questions about secretary. So please do so. Another is just a drive to serve. And if you have those two things, no matter the challenge that you face within the position, you will overcome it, or you'll learn what was necessary. Like, for example, failing is a part of life. And if you're worried about certain things within your role, I know I was extremely nervous. This was a big step for me. And I know that we think about national leadership as a whole other sphere. It's all over here. Even as a regional leader, I just did not think about me eventually serving this role, but now that I am, it's just been an amazing experience. But when I first started, it was a learning process. It is okay to not know the answer. It is okay to fail. But the important thing is that you fail with the understanding of how to move forward successfully in the future. If you have support transition-wise from the person that holds the position currently, which you will, I can assure you from me, and I will support you as if you ascend to Region 4 Secretary as well as I'm sure Nicole will. If you have a drive to run and to be a leader within NSBE, if you are not afraid to learn and to understand how to take on this role, then you will be successful, no matter the struggle that you may go through. Chapter leaders that are interested in national positions. I know a lot of times that I got this question on our profile at NSBE, you know, what do you say to a chapter leader that's interested in jumping to national level? Just do it. Just like Dio said, just do it. If you're interested in that, and again, if you have those three things, you can be successful in the role, and don't let anyone tell you differently. If you're willing to learn and to take on that role, you can do it. I do encourage regional leaders to look at them, because the only difference is that they do bring the experiences or understanding of the experiences that we go through on the NEB. But it's still a learning process for them too. So don't be discouraged by that. I'm going to definitely encourage you to reach out to the person that holds the role though, because they'll just give you more context. They'll be able to fill in those gaps that you may not have. So please do that. But don't be discouraged. Don't think, oh, I need to be a regional leader first. It definitely is helpful. I definitely encourage you to be a regional leader, because you'll be able to get to that regional support, that regional drive to push you to national level and now reaching out to all of these regions. But if you're interested in a national level position and you're interested in making that jump, don't be discouraged that you can't. I think that's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice for national secretary or national positions I can give. If there's any questions, again, so please contact me. If you're interested in any role in the NEB, I can connect you with that member. If you're interested in any role on regional levels, you know, you can contact Nicole and me, and we can talk. But yeah, just reach out to the person and then see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Casey and Bio. It's all about having that passion for what you do to begin with. If you're passionate in what you do, then any challenge that you could see coming up, it wouldn't be an issue at all. Like we look through challenges, not at them. And so I would say, like Casey said, definitely reach out to the person who's in the position currently. That is a great way to transition things. As you guys know, we should know, we do receive transition reports upon entering a role. But however, having that actual connection with the person who previously held that role, for example, so at the start of this year, upon entering my role, I had a few questions. And so I had the luxury of having Matt on the board with us. And when I had questions about the PR chair, I can easily contact him and ask him. And so having that connection is another great resource. And if you have any questions at all about your position, you can contact someone who's already been through it, or contact someone else on your board. You'll always have the resources, is what I'm trying to say. What you all might have gotten from this conversation tonight. So for anyone who's scared or nervous, I just want to say it's not unnatural to be nervous. I still get nervous when I run stuff to this day, but we got to realize on the other side of that fear is your dream, and we're creating the fear of the unknown. This fear that we're creating, fear of failure, whatever it may be, it's something that we actually created with our mind, and so it doesn't exist. And so I would say just go for it. It's really a leap of faith, and in preparing yourself, the more prepared you are, the more confident you become when you're running. And so prepare yourself for the role, and you'll do just fine.
All right. Thank you for everyone's answers. I think we got some really good responses out of all these questions. So because there's no more questions in the chat, we'll go ahead and conclude this session. If you are viewing this stream at a later time, and you may still have questions that you may want to ask any of the REB members, please make sure you just reach out to any one of us. As Casey mentioned, you can reach out to her, reach out to George, reach out to Dio, reach out to myself. You can contact us through emails. You can reach out to your chapter leaders to get in contact with us. So we're definitely available and we want to be out here to help. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and end this session. So again, thank you all for joining in. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.